Welcome back, guys. This week we're looking at tidying up a few bits on the bike. Nothing too exciting, but it's got to be done. We're going to be taking this tank apart, taking all the bits and pieces off it and getting it ready to be stripped down. And also we're going to be looking at the clocks, giving these a good clean, and any other little bits and pieces we can find while we're still waiting for these flipping spokes. Right, the tank is not in too bad a shape really, a bit of surface rust on this side. I've just taken out the fuel tap, which is okay. So be able to reuse that, just got to clean this filter up on it. So that's that, and I've drained this horrible smelly petrol out of it, look. It's a few bits of rubbish in the bottom there, but that'll do for cleaning purposes. So that's off from the bottom of the tank. Let's put the lid on that, and well, then we'll have a look at these bits. Now on the side of the tank here we've got obviously the Suzuki emblem badges. There we go. We're going to unscrew these. Tiny little screws. Take these off. Now this is going off to be sandblasted, so hence why I thought I'd just do a quick episode here, get this stripped down ready, and obviously that will be sandblasted back to bare metal. There's a little dent in the tank which I can sort out with some filler when it gets back, but rather than mess around getting it paint stripped, I just thought I'd send it off, get it done. There's a cap. Now on the Suzuki model there is a locking cap, fits here and then locks down into this bit, obviously with a key. But this was missing off this bike, so decision, I either leave it as it is, fill up the little holes and take those out and leave it as it is, or go and source one on eBay. I did give these a bit of treatment with the WD-40 oil, so that's why they're coming off easy. Just a spring bit there. That's that. And that basically is the tank stripped down. Inside it's nice and clean, so I'm quite chuffed with that. There's no rust. There's a bit of rubbish that came out of it, but nothing to worry about. So that's going to go off to the sandblasters. So have a last look at that, because the next shot you're going to see is when it comes back to metal. We have the fuel tap. I've taken it apart. Apart from the obvious crud on the outside, it all looks pretty good, so I'm going to clean that up and give that a going over and get that looking all tidy. Yeah, the dials have come up all nice and shiny. That's good. I couldn't actually get into them, they were sealed, but hey ho, that's the new surround. Well, not the new one, the one that I refurbished. I'll simply go into there, and on the back I've got this tin, this thin bit of tin there, well, powder coated should I say. That goes on the back, covers up the backs of the dials. And then we're going to look at this wiring loom, which just needs a good old clean. There's a bit of a tear in that, so I'm going to rebind that, rebound it with some electrical tape. The bulbs look to be okay, so we'll reuse those. So I'll just clean that up and bung that back together. Okay, we have the back brake. Now this piece here goes through there, then that, when you put your foot on the brake pedal, just turns it, which pushes the brake shoes apart onto the brake drum, and obviously then that in turn goes through, so I think it goes through onto there, and then this end you basically put in that piece onto there. he says, trying to get there. There we go. That's the adjuster nut. So this rod goes through with the spring on, and then you adjust the back brakes, take up any slack by winding that in, and that's curved so it fits over that. So when you put your foot on the brake, basically you're pulling it, which in turn is pulling that little piece around there. So every time that goes round, it does that, puts the brakes on basically. It's off. Wildlife climbing on my bike project. And that's just a little rubber seal that goes on it. Then I've got a new spring. The other one was really rusty, so I've got a new spring on there. That basically just slides down onto that. That goes through there. And then that just tightens up onto there. And that is the back brake. Right, these have all been cleaned up, all been sorted out. They've come out really well, nice and clean again. I'm just going to put all these back together, all the little seals, rubber gaskets in it, and where are we? The back brake adjuster. So that's come out really nice. That's all done. This is obviously that goes onto there like we talked about before. So when you move your foot on the brake, it opens up the new. Let's just have a look. Some new brake shoes here. So these will be obviously going on the bike. So that's that, and I've managed to clean up the wiring loom. That's for the neutral, high beam, and what's the other one? Indicator. That's it. And then these two ones here are for one each, a light in each of the dials, speedometer and the rev counter. So that's done. So I'm just going to reassemble all these little parts now into the fuel tab, and then that can be put away and ready to be installed later on. Right, all done, all cleaned up, ready. I shall put those in a little tray ready for later. Now we're going to be looking at this bit here, which is called the sprocket carrier. I put a new bearing in it already, just tapped a new one in, and that's obviously the rear sprocket, which has come out from the powder coaters. Now inside of here we have 4 of these square head bolts which lock up. Obviously the sprocket tightens up on that, but these are I'll just show the camera, these are really rusty, horrible things. So we're going to go and clean these ones up and then put those in there and bolt the sprocket back to the carrier. So one stage closer. So I'll go and tidy those up. We'll come back when I finish that. Go up okay. As with the spring there, which is for the brake pedal, and because of these are square heads, they go into the back of that, lock off into there. So then you can do the nuts up. Some new lock nuts in there with stainless steel washers. So I'm just going to do those up, and that's one less thing to be done. Now remember, I took the tank in to have it shot blasted as well. One tank shot blasted. Yeah, it's come out really well. Quite pleased with that. It's pretty good shape really. There's just a couple of little things with it. So I've got a couple of little holes in the bottom here. I'll just show the camera there. There's a couple of little pinholes there, and one there, which you can see. So they obviously need to be sorted out. But yeah, that's come out really well. So that saves hours of sanding down. It's all clean. And just a few little dents in it, which I've just got to sort out with a bit of filler. There's a little one in the corner there. But no, on the whole, pretty pleased. So that's going to wait till later on in the restoration, when it goes off to the paint shop to get sprayed along with the side panels. But that's great. So anyway, one step closer, as we keep saying. We've completed that. As you can see, that's all bolted up tight now, so that's good. Now the centre hub for the rear wheel, I'll put a bearing in already into the brake shoe side. And all we've got to do now is we've got to fit a spacer in the middle there, and then put another bearing into obviously to this side of it. Get it nice and flat in there. And for this, you're going to want a socket. So get a socket, and you want it on the outer ring of the bearing. Obviously, it ought to be hitting it. on the surface of it, where all the ball bearings are behind the seal there. You want to hit it on the outside spacing there. See if the camera's picking that up. It is. And basically you just want to tap that home. But there is a spacer in the centre there. You saw me pop it in just now. We're just going to tap this in. That in there all the way home. And you can tell when it's actually seated properly because the tone changes. There's a ridge inside that the bearing sits to. So, but that looks pretty good. Let's have a go. Now I can tell that's no movement in that. So the rear wheel bearing is in there ready. So that's good. So these are all ready now for those infamous spokes. Okay, the back wheel assembly, what I did forget to mention is on the back hub there, they have these Cush drives in, which is a moulding there. And on the back are 4 of these sections here, which slot into that. So when you let go of the clutch, this takes up a bit of slack or a bit of a cushioning, I suppose, so you don't lock the back wheel up. So that's the idea of that. And of course, you know, we have got a lot of horsepower going for the back wheel there. So we might be thankful for that. Just saying. Well, that's it, guys. Just a quick episode, this one, just to tidy up a few bits while I'm waiting for those spokes. And guess what? They have actually arrived. 1 bag of spokes, nipples, start, and wheel hubs are ready to go. So join me next time we start spoking these wheels up and putting them back on the bike. Catch you then.